dinner. It's always a topic of what are we eating for dinner? So today I'm going to share a recipe with you that kind of came about very organically. I was rushing home to shoot a video today for my beautiful people out there that are watching, and I so appreciate that. Remember to like and subscribe. So I was rushing to make myself dinner, and I just quickly whipped this up, and it came out so delicious that I have thrown today's video idea out the window. There's the window. And instead, I'm going to show you what I just made. It really came out so good. You could have this for breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, make it as an appetizer, make it for your friends or family. Came out really pretty, super simple, and also very nutritious. I'm going to show you everything that I put in here. And also, here's the finished product, or at least the ones that I didn't eat yet. So to give you a quick summary of what I just made, basically all you need to have is some spinach, some eggs, any kind of fat that you like to cook with. I personally like to use coconut oil. Any kind of flour. I actually used cream of rice cereal, which is just like ground up rice. And that worked really beautifully and is gluten-free. And some spices. Pink Himalayan sea salt has really great flavor and is highly nutritious. And I also used a lemon pepper seasoning blend that smells and tastes delicious. And adding spices like that make your dish extra memorable, shall we say, because they're not boring and you don't actually have to use that much salt because the seasonings add so much extra flavor. So have some boiling water ready to go. And then grab your cream of rice cereal and take out a 1/4 cup of it, and I basically just shook out half of the 1/4 cup, so 1/8 of a cup, into a bowl with enough hot water just to cover the cereal so that it fluffs up, and then put a plate on top of the bowl just to let it steam and it cooks by itself. Don't you wish your dinner could cook by itself as well? Because that's what that cereal does, and it's a really easy step to make your pancakes quite fluffy. Next, what I did is take some coconut oil or whatever fat you're using in a saute pan, turn the heat on because that's important to cook something, and saute your spinach until it wilts down to half the size. It happens really quickly, especially as you stir it. The hot spinach on the bottom, as you flip it over, will help wilt and cook the spinach on the top, so just keep stirring it. The next thing I did is I cracked 2 eggs, which I try to buy quality eggs as best you can afford. Those organic eggs get so expensive, but I do think it's important, especially your protein, that it comes from a quality source and doesn't have antibiotics and other creepy stuff in it that's not food. So crack your eggs, and then what I did then is we get to do the fun part and combine everything together in one happy family. So what I'm going to do first is add in that cooked hot cereal. Slowly add it into your eggs while you're stirring the eggs so that the cereal doesn't cook your eggs and make scrambled eggs in the bowl. So just keep stirring it, add in your hot cereal, then you can add in everything else. You can add in the rest of the dry cereal, which will give a nice crunchy texture or crunch on the outside of your pancakes when we cook them. And you'll add the spinach, stir it up with a spatula, and then we're going to come back to the stove, add a little more coconut oil, whatever fat you're using to cook, so that it'll get a nice golden brown on the outside of the pancakes. And you'll add your blobs of batter into the pan, and you'll hear a nice sizzling sound. So make sure your heat is on high enough, and then just let that cook covered for just a few minutes. Keep an eye on it that doesn't burn, and then you flip them. Oh, let that cook, and then also don't forget, now is the time to add your seasonings. As soon as you ladle the batter into the hot pan, then you can add your sea salt and add your lemon pepper seasoning, because that way the seasoning's right on top of the pancake, and that way when you bite it, you really get a strong pop of flavor. So then you're going to flip them, let it cook one more minute until the egg is cooked through, and you're ready to go and have your dinner. This really took me less than 10 minutes. I think the longest thing was just to get everything out of the pantry. It was really super quick because eggs and spinach do not take long to cook. Same with the rice cereal, it cooks on its own in the bowl. So this is the most simple recipe you can make at home, and you can also switch up the seasonings. If you don't like lemon pepper, try using some cumin or use some curry powder. Get wild, add some extra flavor however you like it. Oh, it smells so good. And it's like crunchy on the outside. Mmm, so good. I think coconut oil fries the outside really nicely. But if you don't have coconut oil, you can use butter, olive oil, works just the same. I hope you try this recipe at home because it's delicious. You don't even have to make it just at home. Make it in any house you can find because your friends and family will invite you over if you're going to cook that.